This shout out cheated a bit, but we'll let them get away with it. Before we begin, thank you very much to check out Snipe and Wib. Thank you for pitching in over on Ko-fi. Do appreciate it very, very much. I did a quick check. Snipe and Wib is a YouTube channel which seems to prioritize a lot of Warhammer stuff. So if you're into Warhammer, maybe a channel to check out if you are unaware of it. But thank you very much. I don't know if that's your channel or if you're just doing them a solid and giving them some cheap promotion. Either way, thank you for contributing to me. I generally don't like cheap plugs in the shoutouts, but I usually let people get away with it as long as it's not something that I'm like adamantly against or anything. So, it is officially halfway through the year, so I decided let's do a little bit of a mid-year check-in on a few things, and we'll be talking about probably a few of these throughout the month as I get to do the research on them. But the one thing that we can do right now, just to kick us off, is a look at all of the toys that are in the potential running for the best of the year list so far. We have gotten a lot of really good figures in 2025 so far, to the point, and the fact that they are being rushed out so fast lately does mean that even potentially 2026 toys, even if they're like first quarter or even second quarter at this point, may end up making it in under the wire sometime in December. We don't know. It's kind of crazy right now. Either way, we're going to be taking a look at the ones that I think are potentially in the running for the list. And then we're not going to do like a full top 10 or anything. Don't get that twisted. But we are going to be doing a little bit of a check-in here just to see how we're feeling, just to see what's looking good so far. I think Megatronis is a very obvious place to start. I don't know anyone who wasn't impressed with this toy. It is huge for a modern leader figure. Feels like its price point. It's big. It's solid. You know, the look of it is fantastic. It's that Dreamwave Fallen that we always wished we had. It's not 100% there, but I think it's close enough to qualify. I really like how it looks. I think it's a good enough replacement. And yeah, figure-wise, it's just extremely well done and well engineered. Like, the transformation on it is really nice and smooth. The tank mode looks good, even though it's doing the arms or the turret thing. You know, and it cleans up nice. Like, there's really not a lot of junk hanging off of this toy. Like, it just does everything it's supposed to do really, really well. And then you have the fun touches like the flame deco and, you know, the flame, you know, I mean, not the deco, but like the additional parts. And you got a lot of weapon accessories to mess around with too. Like, there's a lot to love on the toy. A lot to love on the toy. I'm still in that camp of like, I'm waiting for an IDW Megatron retool to be announced to this thing because I would buy that in an instant. And I think it's a good mold for it. Nevertheless, no, I think this one's going to make the list. I think this one's pretty much a good bet. Where it's going to end up, I don't know. I don't know. It has strong competition from unexpected places. So Skybite came to mind. So remember, when I do a top 10, especially when we're doing like a 10, you know, like the top 10 of the year, the metric is always bang for your buck. How good is it for the amount that you paid for? And in this, you're getting a fantastic toy that feels really big for the price point, that does a lot of really cool tricks, and still presents a very nice representation of the original character. It's a lot. Like, it's everything the original Skybite toy was, minus a few little paint apps here and there. And then it does more. You know, it's one of those things where like I'm starting to get into my head again of like, can we really produce toys anymore that are improvements over their originals? Or have we peaked and now budgetary limitations is going to start sending us the other way? But Skybite proves that we are still on the up and up. Like, it's a fantastic version of the toy. It's a fantastic version of the character. I'll even give the paint budget credit. As good as the toy is, I was really not expecting the paint to be as loaded as it was. I expected a lot of those cybernetic details in beast mode to go completely unpainted, but no, they've done a good job. They've done a really good job. It's a really good representation of Skybite. Yeah, this is a really solid toy. I could tell a funny story. Red Claw, if you're watching, I'll spare you. Love the Skybite, though. Love the Skybite. The strongest contender right now, and the one we really have to consider at the moment, is going to be Atomus Machina Rodimus. This is amazing. It's masterpiece level. It's masterpiece Takara engineering, but it's pulling third-party Transformer tricks. You know, it feels like a third-party figure, and in the good ways. But I feel like it's also more intuitive than a lot of third-party. It's not super obsessed with like little micro parts and folds and double hinges and all these little tiny nuances just to make it 1,000% accurate. No, it's doing its own thing. It's definitely doing its own thing, but it's not, you know, and it's definitely feels third party at times, but it's definitely not. Also, it's weird. It's hard to explain. Now, at $200, I expect it to be really good, but this genuinely is really, really good. It's better than any masterpiece I have bought in the last few years, and admittedly, I bought very few of them, but it's just another level. It's simply another level, you know. And sometimes, yeah, like I have to take into account like die-cast parts that are not used incorrectly, lots of paint, lots of deco, lots of sculpt. Like, this is going to be high. This is like, I think, the front runner right now for #1. I think that's hard to argue. A few others that will probably make the list somewhere. Missing Link Sunstreaker just came out in Japan and is looking exceptionally nice. This is one of those where I have to take the novelty into account. You know, I think historically it's a great one to pick because this is the first toy that was designed for Diaclone car robots, making it the very first Transformer ever engineered. You know, and I think that alone, and the fact that it's a G1 mold that no longer exists, meaning this is how we get our retro vibe. You know, instead of doing a reissue, they do this. You know, instead of recasting the mold, they do this. And I really, really like how this is turning out. I think it looks like a really fun toy. And yeah, like this is where novelty comes in, because obviously it's still based on an 80s toy. It's still based on a design, you know, that's over 40 years old. It's not going to compete with a lot of stuff as far as like bang for your buck, but I'd have to take the novelty of it. You know, the idea, the fun that comes with it's a G1 toy, but it articulates and transforms like a modern figure. Not as much transform. It's mostly the same transformation scheme, and that's how I prefer it. But this looks like it's going to be up there. This one looks good. The surprising one that is probably going to make the list is that Earthspark Soundwave that everyone is coveting right now because it's so flippin' rare, and it's so good. This toy is phenomenal considering the price point. $20 deluxe, which means you'd expect everything to be cheaped out. And there are a few shortcuts to be taken, certainly, but the vehicle mode looks really big for the price. And, you know, it's nice and flat like you would want a stealth bomber vehicle mode to be. It's got great looking robot mode. All the articulation from a modern deluxe is present. And I think that is hugely important. It's not cheaping out or going thin on features just because it's from a budget line. No, this could be released in generations, and you'd say it's a little small for 25 bucks, but engineering wise, articulation wise, I think he passes all the checks. Like, it's an exceptional toy, and I still pick it up and goof around with it from time to time. And yeah, like I wish this one would become more common to find, because like everyone deserves to be able to get a hold of this. It's that good. It genuinely is that good. Now, that's 5 that are probably going to make the list. provided nothing bumps them off. I could expect maybe missing Link, Sunstreaker, maybe even Skybite getting bumped off the list, depending on how good the rest of the year's releases are. But that's a really strong 5 for that list. Some that I'm still on the fence on. I am still kind of messing around with my Commander Silverbolt, and I'm still not sure how I feel about it, because it's doing everything right for Silverbolt, and like the super jet mode is kind of cool. I'm not going to lie, like it's a neat thing to do. The weapon emplacement mode's a little bit lame, and the transformation for Silverbolt's a little bit lame, but that's kind of how he always works. So do I really hold that against him? So I'm kind of undecided on this one. I gotta goof around with it a little bit more, and it's gonna depend on what else comes out for the rest of the year. He's somewhere in the mix, but he's not a strong thought in my head right now. Here's the one I'm really torn on. I have no idea how to parse this. HasLab Omega Prime. Now, as of this video, Hasbro still has not given us a clear explanation as to what they're going to do about such a widespread QC issue like the cracked bellies. So, we're still waiting on that, and I don't, until each and every single one of their Omega Primes is distributed and they can tell how widespread the problem is and how big the response has to be, I don't think we're going to find out anything from Hasbro until all of that is done. So we're still waiting on that. But the toys themselves, like if you remove the QC issue, if you take from the accounts of people who actually did get a good one or did the repairs on theirs so that they could actually enjoy the toy as intended, everything sounds like it's incredible. Everything about this sounds like it's incredible. You know, I've heard that the figures feel better than the originals, that the play pattern works better than the originals. Obviously, it comes with a lot more parts than they did. There's a lot. There is a lot to really like. This is very, very easily a case for a #1 rank. But do I put it on the list at #1 when there's such a huge problem with the toy that is as widespread as it is? Do I hold that against it, or I take the toy at face value? I have not made a clear decision on that yet. That's actually not a bad one in the comment section below. Do I hold a widespread QC issue at fault here? Do I hold it against the toy so that we and judge it based on that, or do I base the toy just on its own merits as if it was break free and completely fine? I'm genuinely curious, because that might color how I treat the top 10 once we get to January. But no, still debating on this one. I'll tell you one that's probably not going to make the list, and that's probably going to be surprising. And that's going to be Titan Star Optimus Prime. I have it now. It's right up here. It's like, really, it's above your head. It's above your head, viewer. It's right up here. It's right up here. But the toy itself, for its price point, really is just big. And that's pretty much it. They didn't reinvent the transformation as much as I would like to have made it a little bit more interesting. It does a couple of different things, but for the most part, it's very much the original toy, just added articulation and altered and like fixed proportions. There's some elements to it that I think are a little bit too flimsy, like the vehicle mode. See those panels on the side between the red and the blue? That's just a long double hinge, and it's not even a pinned hinge, it's a friction hinge. So I've already pulled those off once, trying to transform the toy normally. Yeah, so it's not an impressive figure, unfortunately. It's just a really big Optimus Prime, and there's merit to that as well, but it just doesn't do enough. You know what would have changed it? What would have really changed it for me is if they actually put some effort into redoing the base mode, so it didn't just look like the Temple of Optimus Prime. I really would have liked for them to have done that better. And even that mode has some very strange choices that I'm not a fan of. I might do some kind of like different form review for that, just so I can show you, not a random review, but just something to kind of demonstrate what I mean. Like it's a weird toy to tackle, but I'm thinking about it. Something else you're not going to see is probably Transformers Wild King. I think as a whole, that's a fantastic toy line and a lot of fun. But judging on individual toy releases, I can't imagine any one of those being a top 10 of the year. Even if I get a lot of play value and fun factor out of like the multi-pack of like Prime and Light Long, and I parse it that way, it's still very much a kid's line. It still feels very cheap for what it is. It's really just, it's fun as a whole, but no individuals are going to make the list, much as I love this line. And now, just to wrap us up, we're going to look at a few that I'm anticipating that do have a good shot of being on this list. I think we are kind of all just hoping these are going to be the best toys. That's going to start with Masterpiece Rattle, or Rat Trap. And this one seems like it's going to be on the list at some point. Aside from just how good that robot mode looks, the fact that the beast mode is not only really show accurate, but the fact that they've engineered it so that it can actually stand on its hind legs the way Rat Trap often did in that series, that's going to put a lot of points toward it. Just the engineering level on that might be crazy. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I am anticipating that making the list. More of a question mark is going to be Missing Link RC. So again, this is judged by novelty because it's filling the gap. It literally is a missing link in Generation 1. Getting a brand new toy of a G1 design that never happened in the 80s. What's going to do it for me here is how this toy transforms, because we've been waiting 40 odd years for this toy to exist. So what's going to do it for me is how it transforms, because the big thing I've seen from these early shots, and you can kind of see it, my monitor's over here. You can kind of see it on this toy if you look down and see all those like panels and little tabs. That's not a G1 thing. G1 toys weren't engineered like that. So if this feels like I'm transforming a G1 toy from 1986, okay, I'm going to give you all the credit in the world. But if this feels like they had to go to modern engineering to make her work, and it doesn't feel like it would have felt if it had come out in 1986, then I might take issue. You know, it's all going to be determined by the feel of the toy once we have it in hand. I think Onyx Prime is also going to be one that's going to be high up on the list somewhere, just because like I love the variety of things that it can do. Like I love getting the Centaur mode. I love the look of the toy. This one might depend on transformation and how fun it is to actually change from one to another, because that beast mode is very much looking like I'm just going to put all my legs forward and those are my animal legs now. So we'll see on this one, but I do have high hopes for it. Other high hopes, that's Cybertron Sideways that we're still getting. They seems like they have canceled that Cybertron subline for Walmart, which kills me because I'm denied my Cybertron Skywarp at retail once more. But the Sideways is coming out, and the Sideways looks absolutely fantastic. That's already one of the best designs they've ever done. It's a really cool look. It's a really, really solid design. And if they've just improved upon it, which is what it kind of looks like if you look at the comparison shots of the original, then yeah, they're going to end up on the best of list, because that's just going to be, I don't know, about as perfect as a deluxe could get. Another one I think is going to be a dark horse. I think this is going to be a dark horse. I think it gets in on fun factor. I'm looking at Micronis Prime. I'm looking at Micronis Prime as just an example of just like some super crazy, like left field entry into the best of the year list, and thinking to myself, that toy looks like it could be so much fun for its price point. That toy looks like it does so much interesting stuff. I absolutely want to like fully experience this toy and see everything it can do. That one I'm looking forward to a lot. That one I think has a lot of legs on it. But I think the shoo-in to end up on the list that we don't have out at retail yet is going to be the 86 Megatron. I think that's the most obvious one on the entire list. I mean, how can it not be? And don't argue about the alt mode. That's really, that argument's been dead for 40 years. Put it away. The look is fantastic. The transformation looks insane because I don't see a tank. I don't see a freaking tank when I look at him. And then the only thing that's gonna hold him back is maybe like what color the legs end up. But at that point, like it's gonna be a minor quibble compared to how this toy works and looks. Like, yeah, this one's gonna be on the list. It's just a matter of how high on the list, and that's really just gonna depend on how good it feels once it's in hand. Yeah. But those are my high hopes. Those are the ones that I think have a shot on the list. And I'm gonna wrap it up there. You know, obviously there's a lot of really good toys that have come out. There's a lot of really good ones that are still anticipated for this year. And then because distribution is insanity right now, there's 2026 toys that might also be contenders. We didn't even think about those today. But let me know in the comments below, what's your favorite toy of the year so far? And then, of course, yes, I'm also asking you to let me know, should I include Omega Prime or not? Or, you know, how should I include him? So let me know. That's your mission in the comment section below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.